ups and downs more than someone that has like been in business for, 20 years, let's say. But they did a great thing because what they did was they were focused fully on independence. But what happened was, from my own recollection and from my own studies and writing this book, is that Lyor Cohen was very influential of Jay-Z breaking away from Dame and Biggs at the time to go corporate, because he wanted him to actually reach a larger audience, which is, that's understandable as far as, business goes. But, it turned into him alienating his brothers, and he went that route and believed in what Lyor Cohen was telling him, which was a form of torturous interference. That's irresponsible for him to do that within the business, and within when he was with Def Jam, to divide the company. He had a lot to do with breaking that company up, and who knows what we would have seen if Rockefeller stayed together with all those great groups. You had Dipset, you had Cam and Dipset, you had State Property and Beans, you had all these great people that were in a high creative mode, and as soon as everything was at its peak, it fell apart. And what I saw on my end from just being around Biggs and Dame was that, it was just more of a corporate move more than anything else, because I didn't see argument. I didn't see confusion between the brothers. It was always love and it was always laughter. I didn't see any problems other than, it's one guy that wanted to go corporate, and Dame and Biggs at the time wanted to stay independent, but all in all, no one's right or wrong in the situation. It's just what you plan and what you choose to do in business, with your life. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. To speak on Jay-Z a little bit, because God and I, in a lot of our conversation in regards to this topic, we bring up Jay-Z a lot because obviously Funk Flex's whole premise was talking about the Rockefeller days, yeah. Jay-Z, Dame Dash Biggs, and clearing the air of all of that. Okay. So we often hear about Dame's perspective involving The Rock and things like that, and we never really hear Jay-Z's, and I want to elaborate on that a little bit. But first off, we've all heard What's Free on Meek Mill's new Champions album. Yeah. We all heard Jay-Z's verse is dope, and we all broke it down in our ways. God and I have had the conversation, is Jay-Z almost kind of siding with Dame Dash through his lyrics and kind of shunning away from Lyor Cohen through his lyrics, in your opinion?
No, I don't think Jay-Z is shunning away from Lyor Cohen or going close to Dame as far as his message, because if you think about it, in order for them to really bring forth Rockefeller in the first place, they all had to vibrate on the same frequency. Mm-hmm. And by them vibrating on the same frequency originally and how everything started, of course, that message is still in Jay-Z's heart as well as his mind, but mainly in his heart, because even his approach in the corporate world is still a sort of independent approach, regardless if he was with his brothers or not. So I don't believe that Jay-Z, this is something that is all of a sudden he has a change of heart. I feel like that has always been in his heart. He's an independent by heart, and you can tell, because a lot of people don't know, because I follow everything in hip hop. I remember when he was on the back of the cover with Jazz, I remember when he was the young dude on the back of the cover, helping his homeboy out, collaborate with him on his albums. Mm-hmm. And after seeing that, and then seeing him come back into the arena of entertainment, which he never really left because he was opened up for Big Daddy Kane, it was interesting because the independent approach is pretty much the same approach he takes as far as the corporate world. It's the same approach. It's nothing, that's the thing that gets people confused, is that corporate and independent is the same approach. It's just a building process with either one. Because if you're independent, the name of the game is you're going to build that company up to one day stand on its own and hire as well as fire people that you want to do business with. So, it's the same approach, man. I don't think he has a change of heart at all. I think that these are guys that, are still in alignment with one another as far as the message goes. But for whatever reason, they're just not able to do business at this point, and that's understandable. It's just, it's like a bad relationship, mm-hmm. Everybody grows and changes, we all go through our changes, and that's just what it is.
Right. And with that being said, as a hip hop lover, as all three of us are,
Yeah.
do you think that Jay-Z owes the people an explanation as to what happened to his Rockefeller split, or just a story? Because we've seen him come out and be candid on other areas of his life throughout the year or so, with 444 releasing and things like that, with the Time video and the video he did on Rap Radar. Never talks about The Rock, though. Do you think, as a hip hop fan, do you think that Jay-Z owes the people an explanation as to what happened? Because we always hear Dame, but we never hear Hope.
That's a great question. And I know, as far as if that question was asked to Dame, Dame obviously would feel like he definitely deserves an explanation. But for me, I personally, I'm gonna be in conflict with that, because I feel like he deserves the right to talk about what he chooses to talk about. He doesn't owe anyone anything. You know what I'm saying? As far as his business moves or what he chooses to do for his family, himself first and his family. I feel like Jay-Z in this situation, as well as Dame, I feel like these are young men that grew in business, and they just had a different idea of how they wanted to do business while they were on the journey together.
All right. Do you think Jay-Z runs away from the question, though?
I definitely feel like, you know, there's a form of he doesn't go into it based on, maybe in his own way, he has his own beliefs that, you know, he wasn't really trying to alienate his brothers. He just had a different focus in business. You know, it's like if someone was at, you know, here again, if you were in a relationship with a young lady and you're no longer with that young lady, you have children by her, you know, would you really, and there was something that really went down where she cheated on you and she did some silly stuff to you, would you really throw her on the bus in an interview? You know what I'm saying? And you have children that are connected to this woman, and it's going to affect the way people look at not only her, but it's going to affect your children as well when they hear this message. So I feel like Jay-Z is in this situation, is he has the right to not say anything. But at the same time, we would love to hear it. Like, a lot of people want to hear like what really went down and what his feelings were at the time. But, you know, as far as him being a loyal guy, I think that's a form of his loyalty too. As actually, in a strange way, it's still I think it's his own loyalty towards what they built as a team. You know, he doesn't want to throw Dame under the bus. He doesn't want to throw Biggs under the bus. And he's approaching it really kind of how, like, you know, some people approach things like that. They don't like to go into things. They don't like to bring things up based on, you know, they don't want to hurt anyone else that was involved in the situation, or him making a decision to do what he wanted to do. So I feel like he has the right to chill and fall back if that's what he chooses to do. But people would love to hear it. I know that. You know, I'm one of them. You know, interesting to hear his take on why he left, you know, why he went the other way.
Definitely. I want to ask, I'm going to go back to Lyor Cohen. And I want to, in your opinion, I want to get your opinion on why exactly do you think that Lyor Cohen would pick Funkmaster Flex to send shots, particularly at Damon Dash, out of all the other people? Why do you think he would do that?
Well, he couldn't use Charlemagne. That's first, as we saw. You know, you have to get someone that's willing to go out there and fight your battle. And it seems as if Funkmaster Flex was willing to do that for whatever reason. He might have had some monetary reason. He might have threw him a little money, or maybe told him he would put him in a position that he's not in right now, that he can make his life better. And so, and we see this all the time where people move based on the bag. You know what I'm saying? They move based on the paper bag, you know, the under the table money, and they'll sell their people out, you know, and that's what we're seeing when you're seeing the situation with Funkmaster Flex. You're seeing the epitome, the real true sellout situation. You were seeing a real true sellout situation when you're seeing Funkmaster Flex move like that, speaking on business that's not even his business, and using his platform to spread this message. You know, I think it's irresponsible. I think, like, again, I said, I think it's disgusting that he's being used by them to downplay what Dame and Jay-Z and Biggs put together, and putting everything on Dame, you know, because, as you know, within business, he's not the only piece to the puzzle. There's other pieces to the puzzle. He's a big piece to the puzzle, but he's not the only piece to the puzzle. Let's just be clear here. Like, let's understand that, you know, you can't do anything by yourself. You need a team to help.
Let's talk about his puzzle.